Welcome back to the deep dive. I'm really excited for this one.
Oh, yeah.
You know how much we love the Spiritual Seek and those fascinating quizzes they put out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're diving into one that really caught my eye. It's called, Are You a True Celt?
Interesting.
I know. I'm so curious to test our knowledge and maybe even uncover some hidden Celtic wisdom. What do you think? You up for the challenge?
I think this will be fun. You know, the Spiritual Seek is known for those really insightful quizzes about getting to know yourself better.
Yeah, that's their whole tagline, right?
Yeah.
Get to know yourself better with our tests.
Exactly. But there's something about this one, something about delving into a culture as rich and mysterious as the Celts that's just captivating,
Totally.
Their connection to nature, that intricate art they made, and those amazing myths and legends.
Oh, yeah. The myths and legends are the best.
It's no wonder people are still so drawn to them, even today.
For sure. So, this mini quiz has 6 questions. They're designed to figure out how much we know about Celtic culture. Ready to jump in? All right. Question number 1. What era marked the height of Celtic cultural expansion?
Ooh, good one.
I know, right? I'm already hooked.
So we need to think about when their influence was the most widespread.
Okay, the options are A. Latin period, B. Hallstatt period, or C. Stonehenge period.
I think it's the Latin period. That's A.
You're right.
It lasted from about 450 BC to the Roman conquest, around 1 AD. It wasn't just about their territory expanding, though. This was the period when their art, craftsmanship, and society as a whole really flourished.
I see.
Think about all that intricate metalwork and the sophisticated pottery.
Yeah.
It all points to a really complex and interconnected society,
Right.
much more than just what some might consider barbarians.
That is amazing. It's fascinating how much we can learn about a culture from their art, isn't it?
For sure.
It really gives us a window into their skills and their values. Okay, are you ready for question 2?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Okay, here it is. What is the concept of thin places in Celtic spirituality?
Oh, this is a good one.
Ooh, I'm already getting some mystical vibes.
Right. All right, so our options are A, sites where the boundary between worlds is believed to be thin, B, areas with low population density, or C, places suitable for meditation, since they lack food resources.
I'm feeling it just seems to align with the way the Celts viewed the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're totally right. The answer is A. The Celts believed that in certain places, the veil between the physical world and the spiritual realm was super thin.
Thin places, I like that.
Yeah, and because of that, they felt like they had a stronger connection to the otherworldly in these spots. Have you ever been to a place where the energy felt different?
Oh, yeah.
Almost sacred?
Totally. I remember visiting an ancient stone circle once. The atmosphere there was so powerful, I felt a deep sense of peace and connection to something way bigger than myself.
Exactly. That's the essence of a thin place. It's a perfect example of how closely tied Celtic spirituality was to nature.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
If those ancient cultures were more in tune with the unseen parts of the world than we are today.
Maybe. Or maybe it's more about reawakening that sense of wonder and connection for ourselves in the present. But enough philosophy for now. Back to the quiz. What do you say?
Yeah, you're right. Question 3 is, which Celtic festival celebrates fertility and renewal as winter transitions to spring? Interesting.
Really gets to the heart of how they celebrated the cycles of nature, huh? Shows how closely their lives were tied to the seasons.
Totally. The options are A. Imbolc, B. Samhain, or C. Lunasad.
It's Imbolc, A. Celebrated on February 1st, Imbolc marked the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It was a time to look ahead to the return of light and warmth, to purify and prepare for new beginnings.
So while we're all bundled up in our winter coats, the Celts were already thinking about spring and new life. I love that. All right, let's move on to question 4. This one asks, what is the meaning of Enam Cara in Celtic culture?
Oh, this is a great one. It's something that's really important to me. It really speaks to how much the Celts valued their connections with each other.
Soul connections.
Yes. The options are A, a soul friend, emphasizing a deep connection, B, a ritualistic dance performed at festivals, or C, a sacred object used in divination.
I'm going to go with A.
That's right. Anam Cara is more than just friendship. It's about a bond between two people where they really, truly see and understand each other. It's deep empathy, trust, and a real spiritual connection.
Wow. It's like finding that one person who gets you, like on a soul level, In a world where it feels like a lot of connections are superficial, I think a lot of people really want that kind of deep, authentic connection.
I think you're right. It's a timeless human need. It goes beyond cultures.
Oh.
Okay, you ready for question 5?
Absolutely.
Okay, here it is. What did the Celts believe about the soul?
Okay, this will be good. The choices are A, it was reincarnated into another body. B, it merged with the universal spirit. Or C, it traveled to an underworld ruled by a god.
Well, the Celts really believed in reincarnation, so the answer is A. They didn't see death as the end, but as a transition. A continuation of the soul's journey.
It's fascinating. They saw life as this cycle of death and rebirth, not just a straight line. It makes you wonder if that belief changed how they felt about life and death.
I bet it did. It might explain why they were so connected to nature and how it changes, and why they seem to accept that nothing lasts forever. Ready for the last question?
Bring it on. Let's see if we can end on a high note.
Okay, last one. Where did Celtic culture persist most strongly after Roman conquests? This one looks at how resilient their traditions were.
Okay, the options are A, Britain and Ireland, B, Gaul, which is France, or C, Iberia, meaning Spain and Portugal. This is tricky. I know the Celts were all over, but where did they really thrive after the Romans?
That's right. There's evidence of Celtic culture in a bunch of places in Europe, but it was Britain and Ireland where it really held on, especially in places like Wales and Scotland. So the answer is A.
Makes sense. Those places managed to keep their languages, traditions, and artistic expressions alive. They created a Celtic legacy that's still going strong today. It just shows how powerful cultural identity is, even when things get tough.
It really does. It's a testament to the human spirit and how we adapt and keep going while still holding on to what really matters. How do you think we did on the quiz?
I think we aced it.
Yeah.
But honestly, even if we hadn't gotten any right, this whole conversation has been so insightful. It's amazing how much we can learn about ourselves by looking at different cultures.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that even though times change, some things stay the same throughout history.
Like what?
Well, like basic human needs and desires,
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The Celts focused on things like connecting to nature, to their community, to the spiritual side of life.
Yeah.
Right? Those are things that are still important to people today.
For sure. It's like we're hardwired to want that feeling of belonging, of having another soul really see and understand us. And what about their reverence for nature?
Yep.
The way they mark those cycles of life and death, I think it reminds us that we're all part of something so much bigger than ourselves.
Definitely. The Celts understood that we're not separate from nature. We're connected to it. That's probably why they felt like everything had a bit of the divine in it, right?
Right.
Like the trees, the rivers, even the changing seasons.
I think you're right. Maybe looking back at the Celts and how they saw the world could offer some comfort in these crazy times.
Maybe.
Instead of getting caught up in all the chaos of the world, maybe we can find some peace by remembering where we fit in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah, it's a good point.
And remember, this was just like a little taste of Celtic culture. There's a whole world out there to explore.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All those myths and legends, music and art, their spiritual practices. It's all out there. A whole rich and fascinating world just waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. So to all our listeners, we encourage you to dive into the world of the Celts and see what you find. You might be surprised at what you learn, not just about them, but about yourself, too. Until next time, keep searching, keep questioning, and keep exploring all those amazing corners of knowledge out there.